Is it SIBO? Is it Candida? Is it some other kind of gut infection? Is it parasites? Oh, you're missing the point here. So here is the thing that so few people are telling you in my profession. By the way, I'm a functional nutritionist and I work with women all over the world to reverse and reduce symptoms associated with all kinds of hormone issues, from women who are diagnosed with things like PCOS and unexplained infertility, to women with thyroid issues, to women who just have hair loss issues or hormonal acne. All of those things I help women with. And one of the things I hear a lot from women before they work with me or when they're considering working with me is, oh, I know I have SIBO, or I know it's Candida. I know Candida is the problem. And I know there's a lot of people who come on social media and tell you that's what it is and they seem credible, but that's not what it is. And there are really straightforward reasons why that's not what it is. And you're smart. I know you can get this if somebody explains it to you properly. So that's what I'm going to do. So here's the thing. Your body is really, really smart. So smart. It has all these like fail stops in place so that like something worse doesn't happen. It is geared to help you survive. It is strong. It is powerful. And frankly, even if you're having some pretty gnarly symptoms, it's like your body is actually probably trying to save you from something worse. And that applies with hormone issues and gut issues too. So when we look at where SIBO tends to overgrow, the small intestine, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. By the way, a lot of people think they have SIBO when they have bloating issues, especially, and gas issues. But that's an issue affecting your small intestine. Okay, but here is the thing. Your small intestine, see where this little arrow is towards the latter part, the bottom part of your gut. And we've got a lot of gut and gut things that are happening north of your small intestines. Things that aren't even on this picture, frankly, like your mouth and your esophagus. And the way gut issues work is that things happen north to south, meaning starting with your mouth, ending with your anus, to be really blunt. So if you think you have SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, if you think your small intestine is being impacted, something further ahead is part of what caused the problem. Which means that you need to be working on other things, not just jumping on a random SIBO protocol or a random SIBO diet, but you need to actually be addressing like why it happened in the first place. And with SIBO in particular, some things that across the board tend to be really important are working on getting in the rest and digest part of your nervous system when you are eating, and spending less time super stressed or your body experiencing a lot of stress. So this is really common in my overexercisers, my undereaters, my calorie restrictors, but it's also really common from women who have taken a lot of antibiotics. And I even tend to see it a little bit more with women who have been on hormonal birth control for a while. But in order to solve the issue, we actually have to address what happened in the first place to lead to bacteria growing there. Okay, now we have Candida. So Candida is a type of fungus. A lot of times when we say the word fungus, we think about mushrooms, right? So there are a lot of strains of fungus, but Candida is the one that gets a lot of attention on social media and from people who think like that's your problem. And I think in part that's because like you get a yeast infection, they test you for Candida. You have thrush, they say it's Candida. You have toenail fungus, Candida. Okay, but why is your body letting Candida grow? Like to such magnitude? Why is it letting it multiply so much, or what is allowing it to multiply so much? Spoiler alert, it's not the Candida's fault. So Candida is part of your body's cleanup crew, which means that one of its purposes is to help clean up stuff when there's waste or when there's something left behind. It's actually a really critical part of a healthy microbiome. And when your body allows it to upregulate like that, or when it does upregulate like that, again, is it the problem? No, something else allowed it or told it to overgrow. So what allowed it to overgrow? Well, it tends to be pretty common in women that there is also this long history of antibiotic use or something like that going on. It can also just be that is how your microbiome has gotten messed up. It can also be post-birth control syndrome impacting things like that. And there can be other organisms and bacterial imbalances, things like parasites even. Which means in order to address the Candida, we actually have to address something else. So see, this is why it's complicated. This is why just chasing after SIBO being the issue or Candida being the issue, or to even some extent like parasites being the issue, something like that. It's like, y'all, you are a complicated and beautiful being, and there are a lot of layers to this. And just addressing one thing is not necessarily going to solve everything else. That's why I use and teach a comprehensive approach to my students and my clients that really looks at things holistically, that addresses habits, that addresses how you move your body, that addresses sleep and rest and your stress, that addresses, yes, what you eat and don't eat, that addresses testing, that addresses what supplements are right for you. All of those things are critical, and they are part of my signature course, the Balanced Hormone Blueprint, and they are part of the one-on-one work that I do, and they're part of any group program that I do. So while it's tempting to chase a diagnosis of something like SIBO, just keep in mind, also tests like that are flawed. There are false negatives all the time. But keep in mind, you need to actually look at the bigger picture of what's going on.